Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Faith Over Fear podcast. Today we have a close real estate investor, friend of mine, and his name is Kevin. Kevin, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Kevin Kayard. I'm I guess, real estate investor. I deal with real estate and, I flip properties and, you know.
We're in one of his properties. This is where I've been shooting most of my podcast. Not only that, he's a finance guy, so he's really big on finance. So tell me a little bit about where you're from.
So I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida.
Oh, 305, baby.
For
Sorry.
sure, 305.
I'm so proud.
And
Thank God.
And the thing is, my father's from Haiti, and my mother's from Indonesia, and
Wow, that's a blend. Haiti and Indonesia.
yeah.
Caribbean-ish.
Caribbean-ish, yeah, for sure.
Same, Cuban.
Yeah.
Represent the Caribbean.
Of course, man. Arroz con pollo and all that stuff.
Yes. I say frijoles. Do y'all say habichuelas like the Puerto Rican, or what do y'all say? Frijoles también?
Nah, man. We say, juy and, juy à pois, because Haiti's a French colony, so it's a...
Oh, they speak French.
Yeah.
So do you speak French?
Yeah, I speak a little French, yeah.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien?
That's it for me. Je m'appelle Mimi.
Je m'appelle Kevin Kaya, and and
That's nice.
So like all my life, I don't know, like my parents met in Montreal, then moved to Miami.
That's so pretty, Montreal.
Yeah, and Montreal's it's a real nice place. I've been there.
And then they
times.
moved to Miami.
They moved to Miami, and my family, we had the first Haitian business in Florida. And when the immigrants were coming in, we would clothe them, feed them, find them shelter, and we really took care of the community that way.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's funny because our last podcast I just recorded was about a nonprofit and giving back. So I feel like we're keeping the momentum going by you mentioning that. So that's important to me. Thank you.
No, thank you. So what can I tell you? Like I grew up, kind of middle class, poor.
Yeah. Miami vibes.
But the thing is that I was always blessed because I always had clothes on my back and I always had food on the plate, a roof over my head. And I don't know, I worked and I hustled since I was 5 years old.
Hustle mentality, huh?
I
think Miami cultivated that because it's so fast paced.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
And it's like there's a hustle on every
there's
corner.
Definitely a hustle,
You
Plus,
hustle.
and plus we don't have industry. It's not like we got oil and gas or we don't have like, medical. It's just,
It's
real estate's in the streets. That's
real
just
estate
how it
in the
is.
streets. That's how it is.
So so I what can I tell you about myself? So I went to college. I got 2 degrees. And then after that, they were offering jobs for like 45 grand, 50 grand. That was like a big deal. And I went to Florida International University.
Okay.
And what happened was that like my mom, she had a little business selling little plants in the streets and stuff like that. And I said, all right, cool. So then I decided to just do that with her, with my degrees. And I realized I was making like 75 grand cash in the streets, working 4 days a week, and it's amazing how, I was making more money than the people that were in front of me, but yet the perception of them was
Different.
It's completely different, and I just stayed in my lane. I just said, well, I make more than you and I travel.
Exactly.
So,
I think traveling's where it's at. Really, people think that it's in the possessions that you have, but sometimes it's in how broad you can expand your mind and visit other cultures and get to know other cultures and be able to be exposed to that and see how the world really runs. And at the end of the day, it's the air in your lungs and it's like the food that's cultivated in the ground that we're here.
No, for sure. And the crazy thing is that I honestly can say that me being multiracial, I never had to deal with any adversity in regards to, like racism and all that stuff, especially coming in from South Florida, where whites are actually the minority.
Yes, we take over there.
Exactly. So the thing is that, hustling and doing what I had to do, I always had opportunities. Going to school, I had scholarships to go to school, and I did what I did. But after I sold the bamboo things, I walked into a Mercedes-Benz dealership.
I wanted to ask you how to get into financing, so that's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I walked into a Mercedes-Benz dealership and I had these plants in my hand, and salespeople used to come in and be like, "Hey man, what you got over there?" And I'm just like, oh, I got these lucky bamboo plants, you know. And I said, look good on your desk. They're like, all right, cool. So I would sell them to the salespeople, and then I told myself, I said, if I could sell these plants, I could sell these cars.
Smart.
And
Always thinking bigger, huh?
yeah, of course, you have to. And so I asked for a job, and they said no. So then I came back the next week and asked for a job again. They said no. I said, all right. So I came back for a week, every week for a year, you know. And they're just like, hey, this kid's not going anywhere. I'm just like, nah. By that time, there was a new manager. And he said, look, man, you come here all the time? I'm like, yeah. And he's just like, so you think you can do this? I'm like, absolutely. He said, all right, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm like, cool, I'm going to sell cars. It didn't happen that way. So
a rude awakening, huh? Selling a car and a plan.
No, I went in and he gave me an opportunity, and he says, listen, I'm not gonna have you sell cars because you have zero experience. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you work in customer service, and if you do well there, then you know what, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, all right, cool. What does it pay? It pays like, I don't know, like 40 grand. I'm like, shit, I'm taking a pay cut because, you know, I was selling plants in the streets, making double cash. So I'm just like, all right, cool. So what I did is that I worked 4 days customer service and I worked 3 days selling the plants. So that's just how I managed to just live. Yeah. The thing is, it's like my parents, they divorced when I was like 13. So I was raised pretty much by my mom by that point. And I stopped taking money from her when I was 13. So because I saw how hard she worked.
Aww.
Yeah. So like I never bought myself a pair of Jordans. She never did. You know, I got what I got. Yeah. You know, I used to get made fun of because of the clothes I had, and it didn't make a difference.
I think that's very inspiring because I think there's a lot of kids that do deal with that in school that I've seen. And I think it's important that you're mentioning in this podcast for any young man and a young kid watching that could be inspired by that, because it doesn't matter what you have on your back or in your feet. It's the person you become and the person you keep here in your head mentally to aspire to be. And that's going to take you more further than any Jordans or any shoe or any possession you think will bring you that satisfaction.
But to be honest with you, because the thing is, I don't know what I'm restricted to and not restricted to speak on this podcast.
You can speak about, it's faith over fear. We're instilling faith and fear into people, and no fear.
Well, I'm gonna give a little both. All right. The thing is that faith comes from the ability that a minority, such as yourself, such as myself, such as many people, you know, you can make it, and that's just it. You can just make it. You know, there's no excuse of why you can't make it except yourself.
You're your only liability.
You're your only liability, 100%. And the thing is, the fear of you trying to pretty much compete with people out there is something that should be removed from your mindset. Because take it from me, because I deal with credit all the time. Many of the people that you think have money, they have no money. And many of the people think that you think they have all these things, they don't have all these things.
Correct.
A lot of these people, they borrow things, and I'm not gonna put people's names out there, but who you think has it on really Instagram and stuff like that, they really don't have it. And that's the God honest truth. So the perception of what you want is something that is completely out of line of what reality is. And the thing is that, like, I learned by struggling, being made fun of with the clothes that I had and stuff like that, you know, being chubby, acne, you name it, all that. At the end of the day, going through that
made you the man.
It made me the man that I am today. And selling those plants in the streets taught me how to really hustle.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that, like, like I would never go home until everything was sold, period. And that mentality allowed me to move forward in, you know, going to Mercedes and then eventually selling cars and then becoming a manager and then, you know, becoming a finance manager for Mercedes-Benz. Yeah. You know, where I've done well in that industry. So, you know, I meet a lot of people and have a lot of good experiences, but it's out there. And keep in mind, from my position, you know, you can make a 6-figure income and you don't need a college degree. You know, and that's just me being real with you.
You really don't, because I don't have one either, just being honest with each other. And I got my GED. I literally dropped out senior year.
Well,
like, name something more dumb to do at my age.
But the thing is that it's not necessarily dumb, and the reason why, I'm gonna tell you why it's not dumb, because believe it or not, most billionaires in this country, they don't have degrees.
Yeah. They really don't.
They don't. But what they do have is that drive and that hustle.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. Remember, I could promise you that you might not have a college degree, but I'm pretty sure that you've hired several people with
Oh
college
yeah,
degrees.
everybody.
Right?
I hire people smarter than me to do the job.
100%.
That's just how you do it. You delegate out.
So you're telling me that a person with no degree just hired a bunch of people with degrees. So who's really on top?
Us.
Exactly.
The underdogs. It's our turn.
So yeah.
I think you went through what I did, because I went through the same thing where I was an immigrant here from Cuba. I started kinder. We didn't speak any word of English. I was made fun of because it was only Spanish. And, learning a whole new language in a whole new country with what limited access we had to things really opens your eye. Like, my mom luckily wanted to get into real estate. So I remember being 10 years old and studying her loan officer's books to help her pass, because it was on our shoulders to make something of ourselves, and she was like, I need help. Can you translate? If I'm to translate, that means I have to understand what I'm translating. So I had to study this whole book to be able to translate to her, to help her pass. And I remember going into Champions, helping her take the test, and she was just in shock that, like, this 10-year-old, because I was always in GED. My thing was, I wasn't pretty then, but I had knowledge, and I had intelligence, and I had this, like, unneeding chance of validation. I wanted validation. So the way I felt I got it was by being the smartest in the room, or being that's how I'm loud, by being smart. That's my way of hiding myself. Let my intelligence speak, And so people think that I've been pretty my whole life, but no, like, I just blossomed after having kids, which was the weird part. But I mean, I'll take it. Most people go the other way.
Exactly.
I went this way. I was like, well, thanks God, I didn't know this was the trick.
Hey, it's not what
Not saying that that's what you're supposed to do, but
it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish. So that's very inspiring for you. So I went through the same kind of, steps as where I was bullied, and so I speak into my kids now, being a mom, like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like, I show them pictures and I'm like, look who I was then to who I am now. Look at what mom has now. Look at these people I went to high school with that don't have. And like, don't let their words ever hurt you. So I'm really big on providing that self-love and confidence into them, and like being there and being like, no, I love you. I'm there. I'm here.
See, my mindset was a little different. See, I actually let their words hurt me. I let those people's words hurt me, and I let that pain seek in. And I use that pain as a way to strengthen me and fortify me, to go after the naysayers. See, I'm a real big underdog story, and the reason why is because every single person that made fun of me, or laughed at me, or called me names, or talked about my shoes and all that other shit. Now they're hitting me up. Exactly.
Doesn't it feel good?
It feels good, but but what it makes me feel even better that I took all that. Yeah. Just like you probably took all that. Yeah. And then we convert that into energy.
Correct. What we did, we're master manipulators of energy. So we transmuted that energy and all that. Like, for me, all those words, I would write poems out to get them out. Yep. Like, I would just study even harder. Like, instead of going the route of I hate you and pointing the finger and then stalking them or being obsessed with them, I went more of the route of I'm gonna better myself to be 100 times better than you.
No, of course.
And not many people take that route. So that's very hard for us to be able, that young at the ages we were, to be that master manipulator of energies, to be able to say, okay, you're gonna give me hate, well, I'm gonna turn it into success.
Of course.
Yeah,
because like there's nothing, I'm not gonna say it's a bad word, but there's nothing like the energy you can get from revenge and trying to just let people like doubting you, and
I love that.
And then overcoming that doubt.
I love a doubt.
There's nothing more inspiring than that, and that's the thing, it's funny, and then so that's why when people today, when they give me the excuse of, oh yeah, I don't have the opportunity you had, or oh yeah, what,
we paved the opportunity.
I agree, and that's when they're just like, oh, the white man's holding me down, or what, everybody is unequal, is against me.
It's a victim mentality, and I don't think people realize that they're living in that victim mentality, and I can't feel bad for someone in a victim mentality. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be bluntly honest. People can take it how they want, but if you're self-doubting yourself and in that victim mentality of everything happens to me, everything happens, you are your own problem.
Agree.
You know what I mean? Because what happens in here is a projection. Out here is just a projection of what happens in here.
Exactly.
So when you, like, I study 5D and I went down that whole rabbit hole of, like, you know, I'm really big into conspiracy theories, but I'm not going to get into that because I might scare some people.
Yeah.
But I'm really big into, it really is a holographic image of what you have inside your head. And I think as little, I don't know if you're in the same boat as me, I was able to always manifest things weirdly.
Correct.
Like I knew what I wanted, right? And I would always envision it. Like I remember sometimes I would go to sleep envisioning my life.
Right.
Like literally the life that I have now, when I was a little girl, I would envision it. Like I would go to sleep knowing that I'm gonna be a mom and then I'm gonna have this big ass house and this nice ass business. And like I've had so many deja vu moments
Right.
where I was like, I just hit a timeline I knew I had dreamt about or had cultivated probably 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and I think it's kind of like the book of The Secret, you know. It's like
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so you've read it. Yes.
Of course,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
And the thing is that, look, I keep it 100. Like my biggest, I'm gonna say my quote is that I'll never preach or teach from my successes. I will only preach and teach from my failures, because the reality is that success is just a derivative of you just doing what you're supposed to do.
Correct.
So
it's inevitable to be successful
it
if you
just
do it.
you do it and you're going to be successful.
It's how to overcome those failures so you don't give up.
Exactly. And the thing is, when you have a lot of people that are there and they're just like, well, yeah, you know, I made all this money doing this, and I did this, and I did this, and I did this. A lot of times it's a money play, because they'll never tell you how they failed.
Yeah.
And if a person I'll be real, if a person has never failed, I can't do business with you.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I'm not going to be that first person that you fail with.
Correct.
You know, like we could fail together, but if you have never experienced failure, then you don't know what it's really like to get punched in the mouth and then come right back up, going through adversity. And that is the people that I choose to do business with. Like, I work hard as hell. I work like 12, 14 hours a day.
I know.
And
especially in finance, trying to get
especially
all
in finance, yeah.
For Mercedes, boy.
Yeah.
They're probably like, pass this one, come on.
Of course. But I know that I can't do that for the rest of my life, even though the money's fantastic.
How did you know you wanted to get, or what sparked that interest to say, hey, I'm gonna get into real estate? Like
Monopoly.
The game, huh?
The game. So when I was younger, one of the better memories that I have with my father was that, you know, like he would play Monopoly with me, and I never understood why he would play Monopoly with me.
He wanted to teach you something without you knowing.
100%, but he would also teach me little things, like subtle things. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like at night code, our games used to last like overnight for a couple of days, and it would be me versus him. And
it was tactic.
It was tactical, and he'll be like, "Listen, tomorrow morning, like make sure you don't add extra money to your pile." I'm like, "All right, cool." And then, shit, I didn't pay attention. I would add extra money to my pile. Mm-hmm. I would still end up losing. And then, because every morning he would count the amount of money that was there, but just to check. Mm-hmm. And he says, "You know why you lost?" He said, "You lost because you cheated." And it's just weird how a
life
lesson in a game can tell you that if you cheat somebody out their money, life is just gonna just hit you right back.
Amen.
And that's just how it is. And I'm not saying that I was the most perfect person ever. You know, I'm pretty sure I hurt somebody in my life, but
you had pure intentions.
Yeah, honestly speaking, maybe I had bad intentions. Yeah. I'll be real, because for a person to sit there and tell you that, oh yeah, I've had perfect intentions my entire life, that's all bullshit. The reality is that you can't tell me that one person has never had one bad thought go through their head.
Yeah, people have bad thoughts. It's how you choose to manipulate those thoughts and say, okay, why am I thinking this way, and how can I change that to think better? That's the hard part.
Correct. And I could tell you that my mistakes is like, you know, I used to You know, like let's just say if somebody did something to me, like I would want to pay back or something like
Yeah.
that. But then I found out that that energy that you put into that, you know, would manifest into a person that I didn't want to be.
Amen.
Like when I went to college, this is a true story. Like I went to college, like I cheated on like several exams, right?
Yeah.
But what I would do is all night long, I would sit there and try to strategize 4 different versions of the test, where I would position myself so I can catch the version of the test that I would have off the person that was sitting diagonally away from me because I knew they were the smartest kid in the class. I'm just
Damn.
telling you.
So all that thought process could have been put into
Exactly.
actually studying.
Exactly.
You can't cheat life.
And that's my point.
That's the code. You can't cheat life.
So
you have to go through it.
Correct.
You have to.
And the thing is that I did that, and I realized that I was piggybacking on someone else's work, not knowing that they might not know anything.
Exactly.
But they probably knew more than me. But if I would have took the same energy, applied it, and just do it myself, I would have been successful.
You would have been on a different level to where you are now.
Correct.
I think that's very important because people think, like sometimes I know people look at you or me and they'll be like, oh, that's overnight success. Oh my God, how did you get that without knowing? Yo, I've been in real estate since I was little, back when we had the key maps and Katie was not Katie and I got lost in Katie. Yeah. And let me tell you, there was no GPS invented. You know, Houston was being developed and it was me riding with my mom and going through the key map and trying to find the location and using the old Supra and back then it was a gray big Supra with a little code and you had to Bluetooth it. And so I went through that and I learned all this and I became all that to be the person I am today. It didn't happen overnight. So it's kind of unfair, and it goes back to perception of Instagram. Like, I let you see what I want you to see. That's not the full Mimi. That is business Mimi, that is marketing Mimi, that is Mimi. But there's levels and onion rings to this, you know, like there's poetic Mimi, there's spiritual Mimi, there's deep Mimi, like where I can talk about conspiracy theories all day. And there's a level of like, I just love learning, like, and absorbing. Like, we could be at dinner and I'll be hearing conversations down the way. If there's talk about real estate or anything, I'm already in that conversation. I'm about to introduce myself after. And it's I think that same hustle mentality is what I saw my mom doing when I was young, which
Correct.
is what motivated me. Because my dad always worked, so my mom was like, I need to find something while y'all are at school. And she got into real estate. Like, a woman that didn't know 1 ounce of English got into real estate, and she started making all these moves, and we started getting money and moving to another house, and we bought a house, and then we bought a rental, and then my dad and her were so excited. She was making good money, so then we bought our 2-story in Spring, and it was all this, like, I was like, damn, like, this is who I want to be, you know?
Of course.
And so I think I admire you when you say my single mom and you never asked her, because my son's the same way. He's 10 and he's like, Mom, whatever you want, don't worry, I'm gonna get you everything you want. And I'm hearing like, damn, like so young, we notice and we see these things, you know? And we see how hard people work. So it is hard work. It's late nights where people don't see us up stressing and worried about, you know, getting projects done. And like this Airbnb, it's one of one, literally in Houston.
Yeah.
And the idea, like, how did you get this idea? And then it's like you have containers and it's so beautiful, and you have the pool, and then you have the white room where I recorded earlier. It's very creative.
Yeah.
You know, so it has to be someone that's always wanting more, that has to think outside the box to create these beautiful places that people can enjoy, you know, and host their events or host their podcasts here, or just be able to stay at night. And it's so pretty.
Yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to my architect, Human, and Cecily from Casa Collective. Like, I got to tell you that, like, I had a lot of input in regards to this, but like the vision, it was really her.
Yeah,
and
it's beautiful.
And so I give her credit, because people ask me all the time that, hey, listen, did you design this? I'm like, nah, you know, I got somebody named Cecily from Casa Collective.
Yeah.
She's and she did a great job, you know. Yeah. And it's because I'm a type of person that, you know what, don't ever take credit for somebody else's work.
I love that.
You know, and
because we can all win.
We can all win.
We can all win. That's what people don't understand. I see in real estate, the big dogs, they all work together. They're all putting money in each other's pockets. Everyone.
Yeah, because the mentality is this, right? So you got two different classes of money,
Yeah.
right? Like you got money where it's like, hey, you got money, I got money, yo, let's make money together.
Yeah.
Then you got money where it's like, oh, I really don't have no money, but I'm gonna fake it till I make it. I'm gonna get with these people, but you know what? My intentions with them are not pure and genuine.
Correct.
You know,
and it'll come out.
it'll definitely come out. And the reality is that when you deal with people and you're in that certain circle, like you got to understand, be like, hey, what you doing? Oh, I'm going over here. All right, cool. You want to put in on this deal? All right, cool. They're giving you an opportunity. Opportunities that people don't get their entire life.
Yeah.
So you can't mess that up, you know?
Can't.
But the most important thing is that if you can't do it,
Don't
do it, and don't put yourself in that position to act like you can do it. Yeah. And that.
It's a lot of people that have bark and no bite.
Yeah, but you know what? It's unfortunate because again, everybody wants to chase, you know what, that Instagram life, you know?
That's so sad. And to me, like, I know I'm saying it and they're like, oh, Mimi, you have 40K. I didn't ask for those followers. It was some random video that got like 5 million views. And
so what?
I had all these followers, but what I'm saying is just because I have those followers doesn't mean I wanted them or I wanted this Instagram life. It was literally brought to me, and now that I have it, I want to use it for the right things. That's why I made the podcast. And it's like, I don't want to be putting things out there that my daughter's gonna look at in the future and be like, that was my mom. I want her to be like, that's my mom. Like, my daughter Googles me now and all she sees are these YouTube podcasts. She sees me working, she sees my businesses, everything, and she's like showing off to her friends. So that's the kind of image and the kind of like inspiration I put into these young minds, because like we talked earlier when we were at brunch with Tanya, was these some people are lost, some women and men are lost in the sauce of wanting to cultivate that life. And it's about really what you live in your day to day. What are you doing to grow? What are you doing to help people? What are you doing to pour into others? What are you doing to grow your portfolio, to grow yourself? Are you feeding your brain knowledge? Are you taking classes? Are you being around people more successful than you? You know, sometimes you have to change your circle. Sometimes you have to let go of the past. You have to stop being around certain people because they're not going the direction you are. And it's not out of hate or anything. It's just out of, I love myself and you enough to know, hey, I need to grow myself as a person, and you can grow with me or you can stay there and I'm going to love you forever, but I have to grow more, you know? And I think people have a hard time realizing that.
So like in reference to what you're saying, right? It's completely different than what I was talking about earlier. Like, you're successful, so because you're successful, you having followers is just a derivative of you doing what you're supposed to do. It's completely different if you weren't that person, and you were just, hey, like, you know what, hey, you know what, I'm this big time business person. I got all these people, I got all this jewelry, you know, but no knock to people who drive them, but you're driving a Corolla, you know, but, you know, because out of necessity, you know, so that means that's not really you.
That's not really you. Yeah, true.
So the thing is that
mine is what you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get.
100%.
What you see is what you get.
That corny laugh.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. But what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
So again, you should never knock yourself because of your success. Like, people around you should big up your success. Be like, you got 40,000. How do I get you to 80?
Damn, that's real.
You know, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Because when you're in that circle of people, like, you got to understand that real money makes money.
Amen.
So if I'm in a room and you got a title company and I'm over here and I got a project, I'm just like, yo, Mimi, like, I got this project, but, you know, I don't know anybody that could fund my deal. All the people that you know that fund deals, you can be like, yo, I got somebody for you.
Oh, I do. I always have people.
Exactly. So I'll be like, oh,
let me connect you.
Let's connect.
I just had that happen right now. I connected someone and they funded in 2 days.
And that's my point. So when you do things like that, that becomes your new circle.
Yeah.
Because that person's supposed to genuinely care about you. Be like, hey, you know what? I got this other property over here. You know what? They was going to deal with this other title company, but I'm going to have them come your way.
But you know, it's not like that. Let me be real with you now. It's not like that. Like, me being a woman in title, when it's ran by all male, it's hard. It's not like that. And I really wish it was. And sometimes I get more support, honestly, from people I've never met and Instagram followers and people that look up to me than I would people that have seen me struggle, know my success story, and know that I'm a single mom and know that I'm doing this like as the first Latina title company owner. Like you'd be shocked at the statistics. It's really the other way around, and it's sad because I see so many other communities. Like I see the Asian community, and I see Indian community and the Arabic community, and they all hold each other so close, and they use each other, and they stand for each other. And I see it all the time. Like if you're closing with a Asian realtor, you're gonna probably end up with one of their title companies, you know. And so the same cannot be said, though, unfortunately, about the Hispanic and Latino community. And I'm gonna just be 100% honest. And it's like they would rather give their business to a big realtor or a big title company that's known because they feel fancy walking in there than they would to give it to someone local or someone they know that's building their brand. And that's the adversities I've had to go through as being a Latina business owner, and also people that just because I'm pretty don't want to do business with me. And it sucks, and it's really hard because behind the pretty face and behind this new blossom, because I wasn't always pretty, is just a little girl that has so much knowledge of this industry and that just wants to connect people and do it for her kids. And like I have my sister, you know, like I have a team, I have families I'm supporting, so I do it to be different. You know, I want Title to go back to being customer service and being more about the client than about numbers. And so I know if I just keep going the right route, though, I know I will grow the right way. I've been presented opportunities to franchise and to grow out big, and I won't take them because I want to do everything with a pure intention and a good heart. And I want to work with people who have the same intention. Like my goal is to be a light in the real estate world. I want to cultivate, like anyone that walks into our office feels the good energy. They feel at peace. They get greeted and they're happy. And like if you'll see it when you're there, there's people always coming in and out of my office, visiting me, coming to say hi, stopping by, ordering food, because they just like being there and the energy, you know. And it's beautiful for the people that believe in me, and I'm so grateful for. But there's also a lot that don't. But that just, like you said earlier, all that just motivates me to go 10 times harder.
So you know. So let me pick your mind a little bit. You know?
Pick.
So.
Oh, I've never been picked.
So. So my question to you is that you should take that as a compliment that people don't want to do business with you. I changed my mind to take it more as it's more on them and their mentality and something to do internally with them. Then it has to deal with me. So I don't take it personal anymore. But at the end of the day, I do peep. And just because I'm quiet and just because, you know, I peep. I'm a very intelligent woman. I'm very smart. I choose to stay quiet, and I choose my peace, and I choose to still believe in the good of other people. So I know my blessings don't have to come from you. But they're coming. But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm just gonna pick your mind for a little bit. So check this out. Let me tell you why you should take it as a compliment that people don't want to do business with you. You should take it as a compliment. One, are you struggling right now?
No.
Okay, cool. So obviously you don't need them, right? So you take it as a compliment because you don't need them. One. Two, you need to take it as a compliment because the reality is that most of the time, those people that do know you or they grew up with you and stuff like that, they really don't want you to know what they really got going.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they're probably full of shit. Oh, I don't know if I could curse.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you know?
Go ahead. We're deep into it now.
So the reality is that number three, they see you as a threat. And because if they see you as a threat, that means you're doing something right.
Amen. You're right.
So,
whole mentality.
So I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
So you got to take it as a compliment that you don't want to do business with me? That's okay. Because last time I checked, there's more people in general admission versus VIP.
Yep.
So it's their loss because if you're given the VIP experience, some people don't understand that caviar costs more than tuna fish.
Amen.
But they think it tastes better.
And I'm that caviar, baby.
Yeah, it is.
Kevin closing with me. He saw how I slid that one in. I'm a sales girl too. Don't get it twisted. I started so.
I'm open. You know, like one
I
thing.
really like that.
Yeah, like
that's a whole new mental way of thinking it because it's just astonishing. If I could one of the days I really want to just write a book of how hard it is to just be a woman like so young too in real estate, because people just like think because I'm 31, it's like, oh, she has no knowledge, no experience. And it's like so much harder when you're having to prove yourself even more because you're pretty. Like, God, that is, it's so, you would think it would be the opposite, because you're, no, you have to prove it even more to be taken even more serious, because you're either considered a joke or she just gets deals because she's pretty. Or, but then when people have conversation with me and I get into depth about real estate because I've had my lenders and my real estate license and now I have title, they're like, damn, like, nah, Mimi really knows her stuff. Like the way people leave my conversations after is what I aspire to do. And like, that's my way of like, aha, like.
So check this out, right? You know, it's amazing how people have that perception of you, right?
Yeah.
When the most influential woman since Marilyn Monroe is Kim Kardashian.
Exactly.
And the reality.
We were talking about that, remember?
Yeah. And I'm just telling you that the reality is that Kim Kardashian has zero talent. She was created from a sex tape, and she had a marketing team that was behind her.
Bro, that marketing team was a genius. Her mom.
100%. But now today, women choose to, they change their bodies, they change the way they look, their style off a woman that doesn't have a record label, and who can't sing, who can't dance, who can't do anything. She just started getting to. She sat there and took dick. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And the reality is that if that woman, you know, not to throw shade, can be the most influential woman because of looks, every single person that's out there that's talking shit because of your looks, you should take that for sure as a compliment, because guess what? They don't want to close with you, or they got beef with you because they can't look like you, and they can't be like you, and they can't live like you.
Yeah,
and that's facts.
That's so facts.
So at the end of the day, the most important questions are like, yo, you struggling? You're like, nope.
Nope.
So if you're not struggling, fuck them all.
We're doing good. Life's good.
I'm just telling you, because I'm telling you, the cream always rises to the top. And I'm telling you because I've dealt with real pieces of shit in my life. And you know what? If you dealt with me and you felt that I was a piece of shit, my apologies, but I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, I've always done everything I possibly could to try and do it the right way.
Yeah.
You know?
Same.
And if I've made mistakes along the way,
we're human.
We're human. And you have to accept that.
It's one thing to make a mistake, and it's another thing to have a habit. I think that's where people have it. There's people that have habits of thinking bad, and there's people that generally, hey, I made a mistake, I read something, oversighted. You know, there's different kind of things, and I think that's very good you pointed out on that, because everyone that's learning and getting into any industry or learning anything is going to make mistakes. It's inevitable. We're all human. And it's not about what mistake you make, it's about how you handled it and how you carried yourself and how well you took that mistake, you know. And sometimes people's mistake are hanging or, you know, being with the wrong people and like, you know, bringing the wrong people around them. And I've been in a position where I put so many people on and, you know, they've been a POS, a piece of shit, you know. And it just made me think that, damn, Mimi, like, don't ever turn into them.
Yeah.
You keep putting people on and you keep putting a position of others to win and you keep connecting people, because God's gonna bless you. And right now, it doesn't matter what they're doing. Half of the people that talked so bad about me and half of the people that I don't even talk to, because I started the year with like all new friends. I've cultivated so many beautiful friendships that are more genuine now than I have ever.
Yeah.
And that literally we're all at the top and we have no envy for each other. Like, it's hard for me to get along with girls. So when I do have a girl or a couple girls that I can hustle with and get along with, I take it very dear to the point where I love them so much, because it's like, you don't see me as anything but your equal, and you see past the facade. You see the soul that I am, and you see the good heart that I am. And there's so much money in this damn world to ever be in competition with anyone. You know, at the end of the day, they're digits. Money's always being made. What you provide of value, that's how you make your money. How valuable are you? How much information, are you a problem solver or are you not? You know what I mean? And how can you bring a value these ideas? You were able to take your scenario, put value into yourself, learn everything about finance to get into the position you are today, to be a finance manager, which is very difficult. Yeah. I don't think people understand like the numbers and how much algorithms and brain work and like goes behind that, because I've been a LO and I know it's a lot of statistics, and then to cultivate and then go into real estate and say I built a portfolio for myself, and now I can travel, and now I can take my vacations. So my part is the traveling.
Well, yeah, traveling's important. Like I've seen like 20 countries in my life.
The goal.
You know, but
What's your favorite?
I don't know. Cuba's pretty
Hey, Cuba's one of the top, huh?
Yeah.
I know. I need to go. I haven't gone.
Yeah, you gotta go.
I know I gotta go. I'm gonna go.
You know,
I'm gonna go next year. That's gonna be my affirmation for next year.
Yeah, Cuba's good. Canada's beautiful.
You're the second person that said Cuba as the top. Actually, third.
Yeah, Cuba's
It's
great.
like stuck in time too. Everyone told me, and it's people are different because you're still in the culture of living present versus being on our phones.
Exactly. So and that was one of the best things over there. It's like you're disconnected because they're
that
on.
Must feel good.
Oh yeah, there's no phones. Like you can't call out. If you call, it's like $50 a minute. It's not even worth it. Be like, I'm not calling.
Yeah.
You know, and
I'll catch you when I get into Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I catch
at the park.
Catch you when I catch you. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is about traveling. It is about experiencing. Honestly speaking, like traveling is good for me. You know what I'm saying? Being cultural, you being cultural. That's what we seek. You know, some people just want to like live in a log cabin. You know, and just like be like smoke salmon all day. You know, it's some weird shit. But you know, like
to each their own.
To each their own, like for real. And I'm gonna be 100% candid and transparent. Like where I am today, like I'm not gonna lie and tell you that like I've lost myself personally in the process.
Yes.
Because of the grind.
Oh no, I know. You get so caught up in it,
Correct.
You lose who you are.
Yeah.
And you go through a spiritual awakening. Like in a sense, I went through one this year. That's why I was in Mexico every month in Tulum, and I was doing Reiki, and I was doing a lot of spiritual healing, because you're so caught up in business and marketing, and you're on the go, and you're on your phone, you're on this, that you can't understand it, but you're so like overwhelmed and like
Correct.
stressed that I literally, every time I would go to the beach and just unwind, I would come back to so much more, because my brain was actually able to take a break, and I was just able to let things come to me.
Correct.
Versus being in this go mode. And it sucks that we live now in a society where we're on go literally now 24/7.
And I'm gonna tell you why. The reason we're in go mode is because of believe it or not, and this is me, I can speak for myself, I'm in go mode because of the perception of a lifestyle that I deem is comfortable. Like going to Cuba, going to Haiti, I see people with nothing. And
they live happier than us.
And they're happier than me.
They're happier than us, eating real fruit, good food, with no cancer, no carcinogens, nothing in their food killing them, no government going after them, but you know what I mean? And we're here money hungry. Like I've gone to El Salvador 9 times, and every time I go, I get more in love, because it's like, you have fresh food, you have actually no toxins in your chicken. The chicken tasted so much different than whatever the hell they're feeding us here. The fruit was actually big, juicy. Like you would bite an orange and the orange would squeeze, not dry here. Like the guayaba was nice. I ate more, and I was more healthier there than I was here.
100%.
You know, and then when I went to Portugal, it was a lifestyle change of everyone took their time at dinner. And no one was on their phone working, and everyone was talking, ha ha ha. They would have their coffee. I literally sat just to watch them. Then they would talk some more, smoke again. They would all order their appetizer. Take their time. It was a like 2-3 hour dinner, and I was just here like, in the U.S., I mean, tops 45 minutes, we're going to be at a restaurant, or an hour.
Correct.
That's it. Like, I'm not going to sit here all day with you and talk.
Correct.
So it really opens your mind culturally wise, how other countries and other people are so much happier with less. And I wish we could bring that into here in the U.S. and for my generation and my kids, because I don't want them to have the same hamster wheel that I had to. That's why I want to be successful, because I want them, when they get out of high school, go take 2 years, 3 years, go travel, go enjoy life. Who the hell said you have to work right away and be a slave?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I want them to have already each 10 properties waiting for them as they graduate. And all they have to worry about now is making sure that I have the right CEOs so they could keep living their life.
Right.
You know, because what good am I doing if my kids aren't breaking these curses of having to be enslaved to work 24/7? Like, us as a human, we are raised to be in the farmland, be around, you know what I mean? Like, be such a simplistic life that we've gotten too chaotic. And I think that's why people are dealing with depression, anxiety, and all these other symptoms that we were never made to be these.
No, 100%. Like, I'm gonna give you a very interesting statistic, right? Like, this world has like 7.5 billion people. 7.5 billion people. You know how many millionaires are in this world?
A lot.
Give me a number. Out of 7.5 billion people, how many?
I'm gonna say 20%.
20%, right? So you're saying, so you're gonna say 7.5. So you're saying like 300. You're saying like what, 3? Yeah, 20%. So you're talking about like 1.4 billion people.
Yeah.
Or 1.5 billion people. All right, 1.5 billion people. That's a good number. There's only 56 million millionaires in this world.
56 million millionaires.
56 million.
So there's only 1%.
No, not even. It's 0.01%.
Damn.
So when
Glad I'm there. No.
So, but I'm just saying. So when people are out there, these are the people that be on this IG. 'Cause I don't even have one, but
Hey, IG list, Kevin.
yeah, I don't have one.
Bro, I have never met a man that does not have an IG. Y'all exist.
Yeah, I don't have an IG.
Oh, this is so cool. So I'm sorry, I'm having a
No.
moment.
If you really want me to get into my thought process on
No,
that,
give me, real quick before we end.
So I had an IG, right? And then and I got with a girl, and then like I don't know, like I would get hit up, and I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable, so I just deleted it. It's not a big deal. It's all good.
Aww.
No, I'm just being real. Like, and plus I'm not on there. I'm not on there posting, because look, if I don't want everybody to know I have.
The less people know, the better.
100%, because I'm not taking them traveling. I'm just being real. Like if I'm traveling in a circle of people that have.
Yeah.
You know, like
And nobody wants to be posted if we're traveling like that.
You're damn right. You understand? So that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like, we got memory.
You'll find out when we're back.
We'll find out when we're back. You feel me? And that's just how it is. And the thing is that this IG mentality is all bullshit, because it's like people want to live that lifestyle, but they don't understand that lifestyle is like playing a video game. It's not real. You might as well call yourself an NFL football player and say that I play Madden, because IG's the same shit.
Yeah.
Like
I get you.
people think that.
No, I'm telling you, I've met girls who have millions of followers, kid you not, or hundreds of thousands. Ain't got a single house to their name.
100%.
Or they're not doing anything, and it's like, I get you, but OF can only get you so far in life. You know what I mean? And it's like, at the end of the day, grow that money into a business. Go create an LLC. Like, let me show you ways to invest that money. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking you. Do it. Make your millions. Get your millions. But also be smart about investing. I've seen so many people that do become rich or millionaires, and they lose it within 3-4 years because they don't know how to manage it.
100%.
It's like giving, you can't give a kid a candy. He's going to eat it all, and you're not going to have anything after. You think it's going to forever be there, and it's not. So it's about, I think, making correct financial decisions is what you've been able to do to get to where you're at, to be able to now invest into your company.
So yes and no, because I've made more bad financial decisions than good financial decisions. It's just that my good financial decisions were big enough to trump my bad financial decisions.
I like that you're honest.
Like I'll just be 100%. I made, like, again, you never listen to a person that told you that their story was perfect. Like, I've made more mistakes than I've made right choices. And that is the truth. But when I've made those mistakes, I've learned from those mistakes. So then when I did make the right choice, I knew how to make it in a big way.
I like that.
So that's why my mentality is that I will never preach from my success. I will only preach from my failures.
Damn, that's beautiful. That's his quote of the day.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. So our goal here is we hope to inspire someone that is looking to get either into business or real estate, and realize that it's okay to fail. It's okay to have those moments of defeats where you think your business is not going to make it, or you think you're floating in water, because out of those little failure moments, the one big one you did was believing in yourself and believing in opening your company.
Yeah.
And that's going to take you further than any mistake you made, but you have to keep going.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. You can't see a failure or a mistake and think, oh, I'm gonna give up, this is the end of the world, I'm gonna go back. That's where a lot of people fail before they get to the gold mine, and they never reach it because they didn't have that 100% of faith in themselves.
Yeah.
So thank you, Kevin.
It's a
and
pleasure.
I was gonna tell them, give them your Instagram, but given that your Instagram list, I'll give y'all mine again. Or I'll give it to the Oasis.
Yeah, the Oasis HTX. That's for the place. But
let me spell it out for people. Okay, the OASIS HTX. Y'all need to book it and let them know Mimi sent you, and record your content here. Any of my influencers that are coming into Houston and need a place to stay.
For sure.
He has 3 units. You can record in one, stay in the other 2, or record in all 3 of them and still stay in them. And it's so beautiful and spacious. You're gonna see it at the end of this video. We're gonna add clips of the Oasis and how it looks, so that way y'all can book directly with the website, okay? Thank you guys, and as always, faith over fear, baby.
Faith over fear.